Of course, your comments are welcome on X Spaces, on Facebook, on YouTube, and of course on myjoyonline.com. The handle is Joy News. You can also leave it on my handle on X at Elton Broby. We'll start from the stables of the opposition New Patriotic Party because the party is embarking on what it described as a thank you tour and has been marred by controversy following a heated exchange between the 2024 flag bearer aspirant Kennedy Ohene Japan and the Bono Regional Chairman Kwame Bafo, also known as Abronye. Now, during the tour of the Bono region, the two party figures openly clashed over internal party matters, trading harsh words and accusations in front of supporters. Take a listen.
Arrogance and the dear Durbabi raging ha, Moo Sammy 2 me 9 quite single constituency. I quite catch you, be said, Yantuaba, my candidate, Moo. More men Mutina Damukra, the Munsami flow beside to about my particular candidate. Professor Marque report, or see ye qua batua, and Sama Yakano, and none anano, and this if we're a UCT. Now, Moya propaganda no be yano dia, and tonight social media say, who didn't panatem now, yeah, Wabakasam and Fawadam for. Media, I'm telling you the truth. Obia your Berman Chobia. But party any baby to make a satisfied member. A back contributions here in Zika, and they talk as if the whole world is for them. It's not for them. And yet, a crew, like some of them cannot even speak the way they speak. Please, who born dog? Number to me, I talk anyhow. Who born dog? Number to me, I talk anyhow. Kukuru. Kukuru. Kukuru.
Bigger question this afternoon is whether this tour is healing the party or rather deepening the crisis in the party. The tour itself has sparked debate since its commencement. Political scientist Dr. Kwame Asante has questioned the rationale behind the move, suggesting it serves no meaningful purpose. He spoke to Evans Mensah on PM Express yesterday.
I don't think it's necessary. There are more pressing issues that I would have thought that the party would spend more time to look at it in detail. For instance, we saw the bickering and the rancor that characterized the primaries, and it fed into the whole electoral process. You cannot discount this. So this, even though I've not seen their report, this is something that is still lingers on within the political space that I thought that is an opportune time for them to look at it, deal with it, so that people who are aggrieved, who are disenchanted, you can get them back. The likes of Amakuba, the likes of Apuku and Co., right? These are matters that we need to deal with it head on. So the thank you tour, they could have saved that situation with a press release, and then you go into these specific ones that are really rearing their ugly heads into the whole political business within the party and creating all manner of problems. So for me, that's all.
So also on the program is a former NPP flag bearer aspirant, Dr. Atta Kennedy. He argues that the party should rather be touring the country to apologize for what he described as poor governance record exhibited in the last 8 years.
No, I actually think we need an apology talk rather than a thank you talk. We should be apologizing to the country for our bad governance. And then we should also have what I would call an accountability process, in which we hold to account the leaders of our government and government agencies whose misgovernance and arrogance and corruption caused our defeat. When we do that accountability as well as apology, it will give us more credibility with the public. And as you rightly pointed out, the primary that led to Dr. Baumia's selection was characterized by a little bit of rancor. Somebody lost the eye. It was violence, actually. I'm told that even during this apology tour, some slaps have been exchanged, which proves that there is a need for more behind-the-scenes reconciliation and other things before we take it public, and respectfully to Miracle support. What is happening is Dr. Bawumia is beginning to make his case ahead of his competitors. Everybody knows that. We know that was what Nado was doing. That's what Dr. Bawumia is.
Right, so that's Dr. Arthur Kennedy. He currently resides in the United States of America. Now, joining me on the line is a former chief of staff under the former Kufuor administration, Mr. Kwadwo Mpiani. Mr. Mpiani, good afternoon, and a pleasure to have you here on the Pulse.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
So, one would have expected that being the leading member of the NPP, you would be on this thank you tour with the rest of the executives.
That is, if I agree with that talk, then I should be on it. But I think the whole exercise is misplaced. What are we going to thank them for? For not voting for us or what? So I don't think this is a time for this sort of exercise.
You don't agree with the proponents of this exercise. Why?
Because we have done so miserably in this election. We put up a committee to go around the country to find out what happened. I believe the first thing you have to do after looking at the reasons for this sorry state of the party, you don't go out to say you are going to thank them. The most important is to find out what happened. And then within the party, ask yourself, how are we going to tackle these problems, which this Okwe committee, I believe, which the Okwe committee might have formed the party. If you are not tackling these issues and decide to go out, thank you for what? That's what I don't understand. Thanking your members for not voting for you. If you take a strategy, for example, looking at previous elections, you got just about 64% or so, while previously you were getting a minimum of 70%. So what are you going to thank them for? For not voting for you?
But
I think the whole priority is misplaced.
But maybe Zampiani, I mean, regardless of the outcome, I mean, no matter how bad it is, isn't it incumbent on the party to show some level of appreciation to those who voted and those who may not have even voted?
I believe if you want to show appreciation or whatever you want to call it, they should take that study of the Okwe study and go back to the people and tell them that this is what we are being told happened. And this is what you told that committee. And we believe these are our problems. And ask them, how are we going to solve these problems? Take their opinion on how to solve the problems which the Okwe committee reported to you. That would be a better use of your time than going to say, thank you. What is happening at this thank you? It looks like a sort of showcasing some future presidential candidates. And what has been the outcome? Peter Quarles over there. Is this what we want? Is this what we want to tell Ghanaians that the party has gotten into? I believe the whole thing is privately misplaced.
You think Dr. Bawumia is using this to market himself ahead of the 2028 elections?
If that is the intention, then that is wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that Dr. Bawumia was there. Somebody told me, and I think I heard you playing some sort of, I don't know if I call it, quarrel between
Kennedy Japan and the one original chairman of the party. It happened in Sunyane on the thank you tour.
This is what you want to bring a party together. You want to tell Ghanaians that this is what is going on in the party. What do you want to achieve?
But if
bringing the party together or showing Ghanaians that this party is so divided that in the public domain, this is what they are doing to themselves.
But if people
That's what you want to depict to the Ghanaians.
But Mr. Mpiani, if people are hurt, isn't it prudent that they are allowed to ventilate whatever anger they have in them, and then the subsequent phase will be to reconcile?
I agree with you that must be done. But you don't do it in a public glare like that. Call the party indoors, and these are our problems, and allow the people to speak their mind internally. They may even put knives and whatnot, but at the end of it, they will be happy. They will be able to express themselves. And then, if we're leaders of the party, you pick something out of the quarrel and to determine how you are going to handle these internal problems.
So, if it is...
That's a better solution than this public quarrel.
So, if it shouldn't be thank you, then what should it be then?
That's what I said. The party asked Professor Okwe and his committee to go around the country to find out why we lost so miserably. I believe they might inform them what happened. And I believe Professor Okwe and his committee went around the whole country and especially talked to the members of the party. And therefore, what they must have reported might be something coming from the members, mostly from members of the party. So take that, digest it, go back to the party. This is what we've been told. You might have given him all this information. We're putting this to you. Let's discuss it. How do we handle these issues? That will be a better solution. The problems you have than going around to say you are going to thank them. And then, in the glare of the public, you go there and quarrel.
I mean, we are not privy to the content of the Professor Okwe's report, but at least Dr. Bawumia is telling us what is contained in the report. According to him, among the reasons why the NPP performed so poorly in the last election was the fact that the party exhibited arrogance. The party did not listen to the people. When the people were complaining, they turned deaf ears to the complaints of the people. The reason why the party got punished so badly in the last election. And so, I mean, he's speaking to the issues why they lost and saying that we need to do something better.
And who was he talking to? The party?
Right.
Or selected few of the party?
At least the supporters who came to meet him.
If he's telling us what the report finds, let the party know. I'm not saying you should let the party, but that's the way to let the party know it. I believe that's not the way to do that.
But if indeed these are the reasons, the issue of the National Cathedral, the issue of the domestic debt exchange program that led to haircuts on investment, the issue of the president not reshuffling his ministers, even though people had called for it, he said these were the issues. Why do you think the government of President Akufo-Addo was so intransigent to ideas from the people they were serving?
That's a question I think you have to put to Mr. Akufo-Addo, because I don't know why. If these were the reasons, I don't know why he didn't listen to the people. I can't give an explanation to that. But
based on what Dr. Bawumia is telling us, then clearly all was not well within the administration. If, as vice president, he said at some point petrol price was increased, he didn't even know about it, only got to know through somebody else.
I'm surprised he will come publicly to say those things, as he was a very active part of the government. And he didn't let some of us outside know that this was what was happening. Otherwise, we might have gone maybe to the president to say, hey, this is what is happening, or this is what we are being told is happening. Mr. President, can you do something about this?
And I'm guessing that brings into focus his values. If, as number two, all of this were happening, people were complaining, nothing was done about it, he campaigned on the performance of the Akufo-Addo administration. The party is out of power in a very disgraceful election outcome, and now he is speaking to the reason why they did not perform. It called to question his values, as somebody with a higher moral standard would have said that, well, this is what is going on, I should just step aside and allow you to have your way if you are not listening.
If I were him, I wouldn't have done what he's doing now. I would even call a meeting where President Akufo-Addo even will be there, the leaders of the party, and come out with these things and said, these are some of the reasons why we didn't do well. How do we make sure that we don't do this again? Let's discuss how do we make sure that if we had an opportunity, we don't repeat this. And I believe that would have been a better approach than what is being done now.
But for you, with ins and outs of the party, what do you think may have been the main issue that led to this dismissal performance by the NPP?
Well, I have some, I don't know if I'll say have some reasons. I believe it's some reasons why we didn't do well. But I want to see what is being put down by the Okwe committee before I speak publicly on some of it, whether they tackle some of the problems or not. If they tackle the problems as I see them, then there won't be any need for me to come out and say that these are the problems I thought, or these were the reasons why we lost so miserably. Then I'll take that report of Professor Okwe and that colleague that let's discuss this report. It's such an important report. How do we get out of this? How are we not going? How do we want to work so that we don't repeat this thing? If I'm able to get the report and know what is in the report, then I may be able to come out and maybe say something publicly. Otherwise, I will treat you to say, let's be better this now.
But in the absence of that report even being made available to persons of your stature, the General Secretary is called on members of the party to propose amendments to the party's constitution to respond to the challenges that they had in the last 8 years.
I've heard that. I've heard that it set up a committee to look at that based on the report which was presented to them. That's okay. That's okay. But I believe that at least the gist of the report must be known, if not to everybody, at least some members of the party.
But for you, how should they go about this? I mean, you are an integral member of the party. As of now, you are not even aware of the content, or it's been 2 weeks now. What would be your proposal for the party to go about so that everybody is on board as to the reasons why we lost? So that if you are asking for input to improve the going of the party into the future, it should be premised on a foundation of what went wrong.
I believe the party called a meeting of the national executive and some other members who are not in the national executive. If they are not going to ask the whole report, they should let us know the gist of the report for us to make contributions as to how to go back to our own supporters to advise them as to what must be done so that we don't go into that situation again.
But is it proper that it appears a lot of the blame is being put on the head of the former president, Nana Akufo-Addo?
That should be normal, because we agree that the government didn't perform well, and as head of the government, you should take a lot of the blame.
But some say that he didn't act alone. He worked with the team.
I believe what did he say? I remember during the elections, he said somewhere that the box talked to him. Did he say that?
Right.
So he should take, if we have done so well that Ghanaians were praising us, he would have been the president that we President Akufo-Addo's administration has done so well that we should do this. So if the administration didn't do well, he should take the blame for it.
So, Ms. Ampiani, this afternoon you are calling for the party to maybe take a step back, maybe discontinue this thank you tour, look at why it
I believe so. They should take a step back. What is happening is not good for the party, and get back indoors and find a way out of this mess.
So why wasn't this done before embarking on this? Why?
I don't know. I'm sorry to say, I don't know. First, I'm not a member of the National Executive. I don't understand. I'm not a member of National Council, so I don't know what informed them to take this decision. Maybe if I were there, I would have given them my advice, as I'm telling you now. But I don't know. And I can't fault them for the decision they took. When I don't know why they took that decision. But I believe that decision is wrong.
And so they should suspend the ongoing thank you tour.
That's what I believe, that they should suspend it, get back indoors, look at the issues, and find a better way to approach the members.
The other angle is the fact that the party constitution is clear. When the party is in opposition and the national chairman becomes the leader of the party. In this tour, we appear to be seeing Dr. Bawumia as the face of it. Is it right?
Well, I think you have answered it yourself. If the chairman is the leader, then he should be the face of this tour, not a candidate who may want to contest again. And there are others who also want contesting.
And already we are hearing currents that he is the most marketed person in the party, and for that reason, everybody should rally behind him if the party wants to succeed in the upcoming elections.
That's the opinion of some of them. I don't think that's the general opinion of the party.
All right. So putting the report aside, the party is not in a good place. In terms of public perception of it, it is not the best. The NDC appears to be enjoying so much goodwill because of maybe the way the NPP conducted itself in office in the last 8 years. From the word go, I mean, you've been you are a key person in the party. Beyond, aside the report being made public or being made public to a select few, how should the party reorganize itself going forward?
That's why I told earlier on that I don't know what was in the report. But the party believes that what is in the report reflects the views of most of the party and the general public, both party and non-party people. Then we should study that report carefully and use that as a basis to go back to our people, to reassure them that we believe what is contained in this report is very, very true. So let's all of us think together, how do we behave that we don't get this situation again, if we can give them the opportunity to serve them again. I believe that's what we should.
All right. And then before I let you go, I know that the party has its own internal steps towards, organize party internal elections. Already there's been comments, people are still hurt from the outcome of the last election. Some have called for even the resignation of the entire National Executive Committee from the chairman to the youth organizer. Dr. Nyawotamaklo has made similar pronouncement. Now, this afternoon, I've seen the former member of parliament for Subin Uyidanchu declare his intention to contest the general secretary of the party. Are these comments premature? Are these actions premature for a party that is seeking to rediscover itself?
I believe they are. Do we have a party, as a party, do we really genuinely believe that we have a united party contest any election? We should ask ourselves, do we really have a united party to contest any election? So I believe the first thing is to look at the party. How do we reform this? How do we bring everybody together? If we're able to do that, then we have a party to use to contest any election. As it is now, and as you told me earlier on, look at the quarrel going on there. How can you go and conduct any election at this time? Look at what's going on within the confines of these so-called thank you tours. What's happening in the party? So I believe that our first task is to rebuild the party. That should be our first task. And after we are able to do that, then we should be thinking of election. If we don't do that, we carry these divisions to elections. I'm afraid it won't be good for the party.
What role do you expect people like former President Kufuor, former President Kufuor, the council of the party, what role do you expect them to play in this very moment?
They are the elders of the party. They are elders of the party. I should be called. If they will take my suggestion, then I think they should ask the officers of the party stop this, or come back home. Let's together, let's judge, and let's better solution to our problem.
All right. Mr. Kojo, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. I'm very grateful for sharing your thoughts with us on this, on the way forward of the NPP. Now, meanwhile, another flag bearer, hopeful, Bachi Chairman Tim Ejakun, has issued a statement on the growing tension within the NPP, and I've got the excerpts of it for you here on the pulse. He says that the ongoing thank you tour envisages a beacon of, as envisioned as a beacon of hope and a rallying point to reignite the spirit of our faithful and supporters, is unfortunately veering off course, and that, according to him, is not making things right. Now, what was intended to restore our party shine and reconnect us with the grassroots, instead unraveling into bowels of discord, blame shifting, and internal strife. And we go on with a statement: this regrettable turn of events threatens to inflict serious collateral damage on the very fabric of our party. More worrying is steadily eroding the goodwill and trust we have worked so hard to cultivate among the Ghanaian people. And the statement says that in the light of these unfortunate developments, he says, I am earnestly calling on the leadership of the party to act swiftly and decisively. It is time to apply the brakes and reassess the direction of the thank you tour. The same point that Mr. Kojo Mpiani is making this afternoon, they should suspend it, they should call it up, they should sit back, look at why the party lost, and take an exercise that is not thank you, but in another form. And Mr. Ejakun says we must seize. He says, let us seize this moment to renew our collective resolve and ensure that the mission of the thank you tour is accomplished in a manner worthy of our party's proud legacy. So amid the sustained internal criticism directed at the party's 2024 presidential candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, particularly for already avoiding accountability for the party's electoral defeat, his spokesperson, Dennis Miracle Abuaje, has come to his defense. According to him, Dr. Bawumia has never attempted to distance himself from the NPP's governance record over the last 8 years.
You and I were at UPSA on the 7th of February 2024. When the president was seated there, all the cabinet members were there, and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia spoke about all the things he would do differently should he become president, and all these things were in there. When he spoke about A-levy and the fact that once he's president, he will cancel it. He said these things whilst he was a certain president. There is nothing the vice president has said on this tour that he didn't say whilst he was in office.
Arrogance of power.
Exactly, he said
different.
it. Yeah, he said it.
He said it when he was in power?
Yes.
Publicly?
Yes, because you see, Evans, these things, they are just part of the human nature. You're a big organization. You've appointed close to about 8,000 people. You should expect these things to happen across. What you will do is to continuously conscientize your people to understand that we are serving. And so we should calm down a little bit. But there is nothing he has said that he hasn't mentioned in the past.
But does he accept that he is as guilty as everybody else?
That is why you see and hear him. And I watched him on your news where he said, Yaso yedin, Yaso yedin, Yaso. It is we. There is not a single statement the former vice president has made without using the pronoun we. We. His entire conversation is a we. Then he goes on to say, we have learned our lessons. And so what these lessons are supposed to do for us is to guide and shape us to become better than we were in the past. How can any objective, Evans, please give me a minute. How can any objective person have a problem with a leader that is confident and bold enough to admit shortfalls of his organization, which is part of?
Yeah.
Right, so that's Miracles Abuaje, and we're trying to speak to some leading members of the NPP because of the concerns that are coming up regarding the thank you tour. Now, according to Mr. Kojo Mpiani, he served as chief of staff for President Kufuor during his administration. He thinks that the entire exercise must be suspended immediately because the party is getting it wrong. In fact, it says the back and forth that's characterized the ongoing thank you tour doesn't make for a reconciliatory approach, and that the party must move away from this. First, set up a committee to understand the content of the Professor Michael Quay report. I remember that particular report was put to the party about 2 weeks ago, why the party lost in the last election. The content is not known. The General Secretary says that the party will have to take a decision whether to make the content public. But for now, he is in custody of the only copy of that report available, and for that reason, it won't be made public as of now. We'll see what the party position will be on this matter, whether to call it off or to come with a thank you tour. As we speak, the group is in the Ashanti regional capital, Kumasi, listening to the concerns of the party's stronghold, the Ashanti region, why the party lost. And of course, we are aware of why it lost, especially in the Ashanti region. The regional secretariat put together a group that was led by the former majority leader, State Chairman Sabonsu, to probe into why the party lost so badly in the last election, why people did not come out to vote in the Ashanti region, for example, and the facts are well documented. In fact, it mirrors into what Dr. Bawumia is telling us, that arrogance of power, some of the decisions taken by the party were the reasons why the party did not perform well in the last election, and they are embarking on this thank you tour. First, to thank them for voting for them, to resolve whatever differences party members have, and then to chart a way forward in unity to achieve a common goal of winning the next general election. We'll keep an eye on this matter. As and when we have a development, we'll bring that to you. But away from